Matthew chapter 1, verse 1 says this, "The book of the genealogy of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham." Matthew starts the genealogy by calling Jesus the son of David, which spoke of the divine promise of a royal lineage, a kingdom that would be established forever and ever. But he also mentions that Jesus is the son of Abraham, which identified Jesus as the chosen one through whom all the nations would be blessed. And then we have the actual lineage, which is mixed with all sorts of characters, and of particular interest are 5 women that are listed: Tamar, Rahab, Ruth, the wife of Uriah, Bathsheba, and Mary. The women who are listed show us that God kept his redemptive purposes alive, even through incredible hardship, impossible circumstances, and sinful scenarios. Tamar was taken advantage of. Rahab was a prostitute. Ruth was a widow. The wife of Uriah was an adulterer. And then there is sweet, unsuspecting Mary. This is not fate or chance that this line of families produces Jesus Christ, but rather the providence of God. God was at work each step of the way, making sure the lineage continued to the next generation in the face of poverty, barrenness, loneliness, sinfulness, and even in the case of virginity. But then we immediately come to the story of the birth of Christ, and in particular, Joseph's part of the saga. Here's Joseph, this man who has come across the love of his life, the one whom he will marry. But then something happens. Perhaps a friend knocks on Joseph's door late one night and, not wanting to, but knowing he had to, tells Joseph what he's heard about Mary, that she's pregnant. Well, you can imagine the flood of emotions that overwhelmed Joseph because he knew the reality and purity of their relationship. This was not his baby. How could she do this to me? How could she value me so little and embarrass me in the community so greatly? There was really no option for Joseph. Justice must be served, and it must be served swiftly. But it didn't have to be served loudly. So he decided to divorce his wife, but without fanfare. He would spare Mary that. But on the eve before this were to happen, Joseph gets a visit from an angel, and the angel reveals 2 immensely important pieces of information. One is Mary's pregnancy is a divine pregnancy, and then 2, that this baby would be called Jesus because he would save his people from their sins. He must not divorce. He must take her and keep her as his wife. Well, what is it that changes Joseph's mind? What is it that dispels the fears and the concerns? What is it that makes it worth enduring the scandal of it all? Well, an angel comes, and all that is going on and how God is in the middle of it is told to Joseph. So now Joseph has hope and a purpose, even in the midst of criticism and name-calling and dirty looks, that he would surely receive. God was providentially working something out that was greater than Joseph. Joseph was just one piece in the tapestry of redemption that God was weaving together. So listen, if you're in pain or heartache right now, or you're confused about your situation in life, I can almost guarantee that you will not get a visit from an angel tonight explaining all the providential things that God is doing in your life right now, like Joseph did. The point of the text is not to make us hope for some angelic encounter, but rather to help us see that God is working out his will for his glory and your joy, even in the midst of your pain. He can be trusted. And when you see him as a providential God, then hope is on the rise in your heart. As you pray today, please remember Angel de Jesus and his family are missionaries in Puerto Rico. And also remember the Kerwa Lifeword broadcast that's heard throughout Tanzania, Congo, and Niger.